Charles Bediako is causing all kinds of drama. Yesterday, we told you that Charles decided after playing in the G League that he's going back to Alabama. They got a temporary restraining order to give him eligibility. So this is happening. Now, Florida head coach Todd Golden is getting in the mix and speaking out about this. Take a listen.
They were able to finagle the situation where they got a judge in Alabama that is actually a donor at Alabama to, write a temporary restraining order to allow this guy to play games in Alabama. I think there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily happy about it and don't necessarily agree with it. But, with all this intervention from judges, there's only so much the league can do. There's only so much other member schools in the league can do. And we just need some people to stand up and start taking a stand. And, this guy had a great opportunity. He was at Alabama for 2 years. He played there. He was there during the NIL era. He was aware of what he was giving up by declaring to go to the draft. He stayed in past the date. That has always been, if you stay in and you sign a contract, you're done. So I think this is a slippery slope. We're going to beat him anyways.
Like that?
If he plays, we'll beat him anyways.
Period.
Wow.
Clearly, that was at the Todd Golden coach's show.
I was going to say.
Because you could hear the plates and the silverware clanging in the background. At first, I was like, where was this? Like, where was this press conference held?
The local Gainesville Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
We got, but it was the coach's show. Yeah. I don't know, Mike. I've got strong opinion. First off, I appreciate Todd Golden having the testicular fortitude to stay out to speak out on this matter.
Yeah.
I think as a championship coach in college basketball, he has a duty to do that. Because
nice sweater, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
You're both repping
got his
your
Gators
gear.
National Championship sweater on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Three time.
Okay.
But he's only
Are you
one
accusing
time.
him of glazing, Mike?
I'm just saying.
But the reality is, I think you know very well that when a coach that has a title says something, people listen a little bit closer and with more credence, right, than when someone without it.
Yep.
And it almost, to me, feels like, and this is outside of the Bediako stuff, which we'll get to, but I want you to I do think it's interesting take that when you have that, you have a duty to protect. Like that, the sport is giving you've put time in the sport. The sport's giving back to you. You won a title. Now it's given back with a new contract, and now your job with a title in your repertoire, right, is to speak up for the betterment of the sport.
Sure. I think my initial reaction, and we talked a little bit yesterday, but my initial reaction to the Bediako at Bama stuff has been like, I hope that this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Mm-hmm. I hope that I hope, and this happens every time something like this comes along against the NCAA, and I'm like, I hope that this is the thing that forces change for some government entity to, kind of allow the NCAA to sidestep some of the antitrust suits that they face every time a decision is made. I don't like the Bediako thing. I think that you're right. I think that Todd Golden speaking out on this was probably him speaking to the great. I don't think he's speaking to just Nate Oates or Bediako. I think he's speaking to the greater sport. I also think that Todd Golden saying something probably easier than most people understand about this situation when you look at Bediako coming to play and coming from literally off the street on a G League team to come into a rotation at Alabama. Everybody, I think from the outside, you look at it and go, oh, Todd Golden saying they're going to beat him even with NBA players. And it's like, it's not exactly where he's going with this. He's saying we're going to beat him anyways. Bediako coming in from a G League team doesn't mean they're automatically going to be a national championship contender at Alabama. I actually, when I was thinking about this yesterday, followed me here on the story. I was the announcer for the Birmingham Iron. And I was asked, like, after 2 games of doing this, hey, could the Birmingham Iron beat the Alabama Crimson Tide? And I was like, absolutely not. Bama would beat them by 3 touchdowns. Like, this is not even close. And boy, the president of the Birmingham Iron, who I think was Tom Ward at that point, was not happy with me. He was like,
Sure.
dude, we're trying to establish professional football here in Alabama, and that's not what we want you to be saying publicly. And I was like, I still believe that's the truth, because you don't just put together these semi-pro kind of things and to think that they're just going to beat a well-oiled machine. And maybe that's what Todd Golden's Florida team is. So I think that Todd Golden's saying something. I think it was easier than most people realize, and I think it was more warranted than most people realize. I don't have an issue with it at all. I'm kind of glad he went that route.
With Golden.